All right. So let's take a few moments here and do what you need to do, what you like to do to get comfortable. Um, Again, this can be a seated or a lying down practice. So that is your choice. So whichever shape your physical body is going to take for this practice, let's go ahead and get comfortable, make the adjustments, grab a blanket, put the socks on, get the water, get the tea, get the coffee, light the candle, light the incense, doing all of those physical adjustments, right, to ourselves and to the space. I hope it's not distracting for you. There's some car things are happening um, in front of my property. I can hear it. I hope you cannot, but if you do hear background noise, there's trucks and mechanical things going on. So, any physical adjustments that you need to make to your space. Maybe you silence the cell phone, you close a door, you put a dog in or out. Um, just taking a moment to honor the physical space that you're in and your physical body, getting it as comfortable as you can so that you can sit or lie down for the next 25 minutes now without um, interruption, right? Seeing if we can arrange the body in a way that it won't pull the mind um, out of where we're intending to focus. And once you've done that, you can go ahead and close the eyes if that's available for you this morning. If you're not quite ready to close the eyes, you can leave the eyes open. I'm going to explain a little bit about where we're going, what we'll do, and the intention and the idea with today's practice. So the eyes can be open or closed while I lay some groundwork. So the actual breathing that we'll work with today is very uncomplicated, very simple practice, and I'm going to guide you through it. And then hopefully we'll be able to melt into a meditation. And there's an imagery that we'll use for the meditation. And the theme of today, if you want to call it a theme for today, or maybe just a theme for life, is this combination of effort followed by ease, right? So even in this practice, there will be the effort. There was the effort already to get here, to make the space, to make the time, to open the chat, to get the link, to set up the space, the effort, and then the effort of the breathing and the practice and the guided part of what we're doing, the effort, followed by the ease. And the ease being the meditation, hopefully the inner calm, the sensation of, I'm okay, I've got this, right? So the effort followed by the ease. Most of us are quite good at effort, right? We know how to work. Most of us very much so struggle with ease. And coming from capitalism, from Western society, from wherever we've come from, the predominant school of thought of the world these days is effort, right? Be productive. And there is a tendency to feel like we are only worthy if we've earned it. Even when it comes to rest, we feel like we have to earn our rest. And myself included, many people I know, resting can be very uncomfortable. We feel like we should be doing something all the time, right? And so we have this conflict of the human being versus the human doing. And we are all probably very skilled at the human doing, and we struggle a lot with the human being. We struggle with the ease. So in the practice this morning, And we'll get into the breathing here shortly. We're going to use the guided effort to allow ourselves to transition into the ease. And just notice how that feels for the body. For the body, for the mind, for the emotions, maybe what already comes up for you when I talk about being worthy of rest. Maybe you already are like, oh yeah, that's me. I'm pretty bad at taking it easy. Or if you have free time, you feel this need to sort of fill it up, right? The never-ending to-do list that is quite literally never ending because we are never done doing things. And so as we move into the meditation, and we'll come back to this imagery, but the guided part of the meditation, the imagery that I want to introduce is of a cyclical wave, right? This flow of a wave. And this is part of life, and it happens hundreds, if not thousands of times throughout every day. It happens throughout the week. It happens throughout the month. It happens throughout our lives. There are moments where we are coming up and there's an upward pull and we're moving to the top of the wave, and then we're at the top of the wave and there's momentum and there's motivation and there's projection and there's all of the things that are coming and we're doing the things and everything is happening. And then eventually the wave crashes. Whether the thing worked or not, whether we were successful or not, it ends. And then there is this sensation of being pulled under and being held in deep, dark waters and stillness, right? Ease might be incredibly uncomfortable. That time when nothing is happening. Eventually, we are picked up by that energy and the momentum again, and we come back up, and there's a new project, and there's a new thing happening, and it's new, and it's exciting, and it's this, and it's that, and we're working, and and then again, we succeed or we don't. Either way, that cycle ends, and we fall and we come back sucked under into the stillness and the darkness, waiting. So again, we have the effort and then we have the ease. And again, this happens all throughout your day. It happens throughout the week. It happens in these larger cycles. And so can we work to be comfortable in the ease? Can we see? I even did it. Can we work to be comfortable in the ease? Can we allow ourselves to just melt into the ease? Can we take some refuge in the pause, in the deep, still waters, and know that that is a time to recuperate before we get pulled back up into the next experience? So that's our theme. That's our imagery. That's our contemplation for today's session. So let's move into some breathing now. So if you have to make another adjustment now, if all of that information landing and listening to me talk, and if that got you worked up, or if you shifted and now you have to get settled back in, let's go ahead and settle back in. Maybe you roll the neck out a little bit. If the eyes were staying open while I was talking, let's see if they're willing and able to close now. If they're not, that's okay. Just pick one point in front of you to focus on. In front and slightly down, so we let the eyelids be heavy. So even if the gaze isn't fully internal yet, we start to soften from the exterior world, moving to the internal. And we'll take a moment here, starting as we almost always do, to scan the physical body. And just notice if there's any sensations, any aches or pains, or sometimes the absence of an ache or pain. there's a place that we're tensing or clenching the muscles, maybe we see if we can sit up a little bit taller. We see if we can relax the shoulders down a little more. The neck might grow just by 0.5 millimeter in height. Slight tuck of the chin to the chest. See if we can soften the face and the eyebrows and the eyelids. Soften the jaw. You might even open your mouth and then reclose. So checking the physical. And then we move a bit deeper into the layers and we scan the emotional body. We see what's there today, what's heavy on the heart. Any stress that might be living in the body, any dread or worry. And we don't have to fix it. We don't have to shame ourselves for feeling it. We just notice if there is something there, some emotional marker that we're working with, that we're allowing ourselves to experience. And then we'll start to scan the mind, the mental chatter, the fluctuations, any repetitive thoughts, any intrusive thoughts, any circular thinking. Maybe observing if the mind is judging. Our minds are always categorizing. So we take in information and then we start to sort. We sort, we sort. And that's a wonderful thing that we do. And it also can lend itself towards judgment. So just noticing if the mind is taking its job a little too seriously. And now let's send our awareness to the breath. So breathing in and out through the nose. Just start to notice how the breath is flowing right now in this moment. You might notice if there's congestion in the nose or the throat, a physical blockage. You might notice if there's constriction in the throat or the chest and the lungs. Perhaps it's hard to get a good breath in. This could be physical or emotional blockage. So just observe your breathing. And now, invitation to enhance the quality of each breath. So now that you've witnessed it, see if you can enhance. So the inhale becomes more nourishing, fuller. And the exhale becomes intentional, complete, emptying out. Keeping the rhythm, just inhaling straight into the exhale. So no retention of breath, just flowing from the inhale directly into the exhale. At the base of the exhale, directly into the inhale, just filling up. And you start to notice maybe the gentle rise and fall of your shoulders as you inhale and you exhale, subtle movements in the body. As you draw the breath in and you feel this expansion in the shoulders and in the chest and the lungs and the belly, start to imagine this expansion around your whole body. So, like there's this little energy bubble around you. And on the inhale, the whole bubble or balloon fills up. And on the exhale, the bubble empties, the body softens, the lungs empty, the belly softens. So we inhale and we fill, and we exhale and we soften and we empty. And the next inhale, as you fill up and you feel yourself expanding, invitation at the top to just hold the breath in for a beat, just a moment. Just get to the top and just pause. And then exhale, let everything go. And when you get to the bottom of the exhale, just hold the breath out, just slightly, just for a moment. Nothing extreme. And then move into the inhale, fill all the way up, full expansion. Effort, but not too much effort. And then at the very top, hold, pause, and then release. Empty all the way out. Get to the bottom of the exhale, really push all of the air out of the lungs and hold the breath out just for a moment. Straight into the inhale. Just keep going with this breath, filling all the way up as much as you can, and then pausing for a moment. And then exhale all the way down, softening, 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 and then holding the breath out just for a moment. So just work with this breath. You might start to introduce the imagery as you breathe. As you fill up, you feel yourself coming up out of the depth, coming up to the edge of the wave, cresting over with that energy of the inhale, pausing at the top. And then as you exhale, the wave is crashing. We start to come down. The energy drops. We exhale. We come all the way down to the bottom of the ocean, empty lungs, and we hold the breath out. And as we inhale, again, the energy pulling us up, the inhale pulling us up, the energy rising, the inhale rising, coming to the top, the crest of the wave, pausing for just a moment, and then the wave crashing and the energy falling and the exhale falling and the energy down, coming into this moment of stillness, holding the breath out. If you'd like to keep using the breath with the imagery, you can keep using the breath with the imagery. If you're ready to release the breath, then you can come into natural, subtle breathing and just work with that imagery. Seeing the wave, building in momentum, the rising of the energy, the drive, the motivation, the excitement, and then the eventual fall, the crash, the closing of the wave, the energy going down, the experience ending, going down into the depths, being pulled under almost. And then pause there for a moment. See if you can ease into the pause, into the depth, into the stillness before the next wave pulls you up and the cycle starts again. So just working with that imagery, you're welcome to keep using the breath and pausing slightly for the inhale and the exhale. Your choice. Do your best here to stick with it. If you notice that your mind is struggling to stay focused, come back to the breath. Use the breath. If you're able to stay focused on the imagery, stick with that. If the mind starts to wander, just gently invite the mind back. For the last few minutes of our time together, there is an invitation to release the breathing, to release the imagery, and to simply ease in to ease, to melt into rest for a few moments. If that is difficult for you, for your mind, for your emotions, keep working with the breath and or the imagery. If you are ready to release both practices, you are welcome to melt into ease. If your mind is wandering too much and the ease is not working for you, come back to one of the tools, anchor the mind to something. We'll take 3 rounds of honeybee breath or Brahmari breath to close out this practice. So if you're not familiar or you want a refresher, Brahmari breath, honeybee breath, is an inhale through the nose. We exhale through the nose, and while we do so, we hum in our throat. So it sounds like this. Mm. So we'll take 3 rounds of Brahmari breath to close. Let's start with an exhale. Empty all the way out, empty the lungs. Inhale through your nose to fill up and begin. Mm. Mm. You would like to stay in silence and in this vibration for a little bit longer. If you can comfortably experience some ease, then I highly recommend you do so. When you're ready, you'll gently open your eyes and take a look around to come back into your space. But take your time. And with that, we'll close the practice. If you're able, again, to stay in this space and this vibration and this mindset for a little bit longer today, then please do so. If you have to go on to the next thing, I hope that you can take with you a little bit of this reminder of effort and ease, and that we do our best to find ways to comfortably experience the moments of ease, and that we are all worthy and deserving of rest. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to be here. And I'll be speaking with and seeing some of you very soon. Thank you. Thank you.